So Anishinaabe, Zhaashkwagiizhigongbish Kwe, because the DK Ontario, hello and welcome. My name is Loretta Schuster, and the spirit name given to me is Blue Sky Water Woman. I am Turtleland, and I'm from Mille Lacs, Ontario. My biological mother is a registered band member of Mille Lacs First Nation in northwestern Ontario. On September 30th, we will come together to commemorate National Day of Truth and Reconciliation, also known as Orange Shirt Day. This is a day to honor the survivors and their families. It's a time to reflect on the legacy of these schools, which aim to assimilate Indigenous children by removing them from their families, suppressing their culture, and many children suffered abuse, and some never returned home. The Sixties Scoop was an extension of this forced assimilation, where thousands of Indigenous children were forcibly removed from their families in the 1960s and mid-1980s. This continues the legacy of separated Indigenous families, loss of language, culture, identity, and this harm continues today due to systemic racism and poverty. I am an intergenerational survivor of the Sixties Scoop, and through my own adoption was further displaced. And I won't go into my story because it's really long and but like many displaced urban Indigenous people, I have been on a lifelong journey of spiritual reconnection, processing meaningful truths, decolonizing my education, unlearning, and putting the pieces back together. I have been gratefully supported by both my families and my community. A central part of my reconnection has been carrying this from so close to my heart, learning traditional craft work and following the wisdom of medicine and growing sacred medicines, which I will offer to you as best you know. And today I'd like to share with you a little bit about what these spiritual tools mean to me, because they've been so wonderful. Let's start as the medicine wheel is a powerful symbol, teaching tool rooted in many Indigenous cultures across our island. The medicine wheel, as we see it today, is a contemporary interpretation of Indigenous knowledge. It represents a holistic worldview, emphasizing the importance of balance and the interconnectedness of all aspects of life. Every nation, knowledge keeper, community, family, and elder may hold their own unique teachings on the medicine wheel, and some may not use it at all, and that's perfectly okay. The wheel is simply a spiritual tool to help us understand the Creator's gifts and the sacred connectedness of all things. And what I share today is my understanding of the medicine wheel teachings. All right, that's here's like overlapping. I'm not very good with technology, so it's totally like some my thing. I'm much more of a crafter and a gardener. That's where I feel like my skill set is. So with so much diversity in Indigenous cultures, it's my belief that we all have our own understandings of the same Creator. The wheel that you see here today is a commonly used variation in this territory, and similar forms are found in Anishinaabe and Cree communities. Sometimes the colors are arranged a little bit differently. You might see blue instead of black. I noticed this on the reserve signs when I was living up north in my family's territory. Most medicine wheels are broken into 4 parts, and 4s come up pretty often in many important Indigenous teachings. Each quadrant of the medicine wheel represents many things: stages of life, seasons, elements, sacred medicines, and many more teachings. While we don't have time to get into too deeply into each teaching today, I encourage you to seek out this wisdom if what you hear today resonates with you. We'll walk through the wheel now. I provided handouts to everyone to follow along and take notes if you wish, This is a really basic medicine wheel to give you an idea of what I'm saying, but there are so many more teachings that go along with it. So the first part of the medicine wheel is the circle or the hoop, which you can also see a little bit better on here. And for Anishinaabe people, the hoop moves in a clockwise direction, following the path of the sun. The sacred hoop represents the never-ending circle of life. It represents connecting all people from all nations from the four corners of the earth. In this circle, we walk in harmony and we are all equal. And you may notice that we're kind of in a bit of a horseshoe shape today. A lot of Anishinaabe and Indigenous ceremonies, celebrations will take place in a circle to really emphasize that harmony and that equality, because in the circle, we're all equal. So we're going to begin in the eastern direction. Usually when I teach this, I give a partner to use the colors. The colors are so important. It's really coming like this. So eastern direction, my directions are, this is east. Okay, so we're going to give the eastern direction. This page. The color is yellow, the season is spring, the time of day is morning, the stage of life is birth, and the sacred medicine is Sima, or our sacred tobacco, which you may often see as island mist. Sama, or sacred tobacco, is traditionally associated with the East. It's important to distinguish Sama, or sacred tobacco, and commercial coating tobacco. Indigenous people across Turtle Island have always used Sama for spiritual purposes, and nations that didn't have it would trade for it. According to many Anishinaabe creative stories, Sama was our first medicine, and it's a gift of gratitude, connection, prayer, and that's why it sits in the eastern doorway. The rustica variety of Sama has delicate little yellow flowers, and scents flow softly in the plant. And when you're approaching an Anishinaabe elder, or friend with a request, or even just to say thank you, it is protocol to give a tobacco tithe. We have more time at the end. I'd be happy to show you how to do that. If you don't know how to do that, I do have red cotton cloth. It's important that when you give a tobacco tithe, it is in cotton cloth, because we're not smoking the tobacco. The tobacco goes into a sacred fire, and if you use polycotton blend or polyester cloth, it's going to burn that, and it's going to create a lot of food. Usually red, there are other colors, but if you want to be safe, red tobacco. So in the eastern direction, everything is fresh and new and pure. In the plant world, it's when we're planting our seeds and we're excited for them to grow. So next, we move clockwise to the southern direction. I'm going to pass around the tobacco tithe. What it looks like, and hold it in my hand, get familiar with it. So next we move to red, which is in the southern direction. The season is summer, the time of day is afternoon, the stage of life is youth, and the plant medicine is cedar. In the southern direction, to me, it feels like that warm, vibrant energy of a summer afternoon. The plants are lush and full of life, flowers are blooming, and in the youth stage of our life, we are full of that time when we're gathering knowledge and finding ourselves and our identity. Some traditions place cedar in that direction, and others use sweetgrass. And both cedar and sweetgrass are healing medicines that are capable of warmth, whether brewed as a tea or burned as a smudge. So I'm going to pass around the cedar and the sweetgrass, And the cedar is a little dry. I've dried it so that I can, actually what I do with the cedar is I dry it and then I crush it into a powder, and I just find that it burns better that way. But if you find it coming off on you, then it's just extra blessing. And then this is the sweetgrass I'm going to pass around as well. This is last year's sweetgrass from our medicine garden packed from public library. So this is a big bountiful harvest. We had big breaks last year. And this is from my this is from this year. You can see it's a much different color, but you can really smell the difference. It's great for myself, but last year, this year, and this is from my balcony garden. I grow on the 5th floor of a balcony, not too far away from here, in a Rubbermaid container. So if you want to grow medicine and you live in an apartment, you can do it. So I'm gonna pass them around. I was actually gonna bring some fresh sweetgrass today, but it's soaking wet. Like I was not gonna happen. So yeah, both of them to me, when I think about that red, that warmth, they really come alive. That medicine really comes alive, and it is to do that. So next we move to the western direction, and the color is black. The season is autumn, the time of day is evening, the stage of life is adulthood, and the plant medicine is sage. The west represents that time after summer when the leaves are in the process of turning colors and falling off the trees. We're in that time right now. And the plants are getting ready to go to sleep for the winter. And we're harvesting our fruits and veggies from our gardens. We're putting away our patio furniture for another season. The west represents that adult stage in our lives where we're taking care of our families and communities with the harvests that we gain from our lifetime of knowledge. And so far. And we're working hard to make sure that our home fires burn bright for the winter ahead. Sometimes you'll hear in Anishinaabe communities anyway, the western direction represents death, and that's because sun up and down. But that doesn't mean the end for Anishinaabe people. As we know that the plants go to sleep in the wintertime, they're just sleeping. And that's why when we move into the northern direction, the stage of life in the northern direction is, although it's also associated with elderhood, it's also associated with that time after death when you're walking with the Creator, you're kind of in that in-between period. And when you think about the plants in that in-between period, they're just sleeping. The trees have the leaves off the trees, but their roots are just waiting, just resting. And when you apply that to your own knowledge, sometimes you need a rest as well. So I've gone off topic. But I've gone off my nose. So the season of winter, the color is white. Time of day is nighttime. The stage of life is elderhood, and then time after death in the spirit world. The plant medicine is sweetgrass, but sometimes it's cedar. That's why I handed it out. And I forgot to hand out the stage. So in the northern direction, the snow and the cold have come, the leaves have fallen off the trees, and the animals are in hibernation. This is a time of storytelling, self-reflection, and rest. It's a time of elderhood and the wisdom that comes with a lifetime of experience. It's also a time of dying and that in-between time of being reborn. And as we know, that when the winter comes, after the winter comes the spring, and it's not the end, as we know, from that circle of life in the medicine wheel. For Anishinaabe people, this is the time when we're telling stories around the fire. And there's some stories that we're only supposed to tell during the winter, and aren't supposed to be told during summer. And I should go back to this cedar, so find that. So this cedar, I grow in both my balcony, and I grow it in my backyard. Most people, when they think about smudging, they think about the white sage that comes from California and comes usually in a lawn. And that sage is not the sage that indigenous people in this territory would grow. Now, you can grow it, but it's very difficult to grow. Prairie sage is one variety, not actually sage. It can be wormwood or bugwort, but it's actually is indigenous to this area, and this is the sage that you should be growing. So, feel called to not. I encourage you to use sages and smudges from this territory, including the prairie sage. Prairie sage is really, really easy to grow. It grows everywhere. You'll find it in ditches up north. Don't use the ditch one. But I bought this originally from Richter's in Goodwood, Ontario, and they buy one little plant and it's a big off. In a few years, you'll have a little bush of it, and I mainly grow this to give it away because I really believe that encouraging sustainable medicine practices and making medicine more accessible to people, we're going to help, bring what we're supposed to be doing with medicine. So yeah, normally we would start this with a smudge. So I have some medicine at the back that everyone needs to take home. And the way that you do this is you just take off a little piece and spread it off. A piece like that, so that you have a twig, a little bundle. And then I like to roll it in a ball. And when I roll it in a ball, I'm doing clockwise, just like the medicine wheel. And you'll notice in a lot of indigenous teachings, everything is done in a circle. And that circle is to remind us of not just the medicine wheel. The medicine wheel is very contemporary and dedicated of indigenous ways of life. But it's the circle of life. It's living in harmony with all things, living in balance. So I like to be reminded of that circle when I'm making this ball. And that ball is all you need to smudge with. That is your daily smudge, as much as you need for the moment. So I encourage you to take a little piece, bring it home, and you can smudge with that. Put it down as a bit of medicine if you want, whatever you feel called to. And definitely, if you're going to smudge with it, you don't have to have a shell, but and any kind of fire safe container. Yeah. So the other part of the, sorry, I don't know what I'm saying. But another part of the medicine wheel that we really need to talk about is the center. Sometimes you'll see a little dot of green here, purple. And I was taught that the center represents our creator or our consciousness. So this medicine wheel that we have up here was created specifically for this group. And like many contemporary dream catchers and medicine wheel for who is made of brass and is wrapped in deer hide, traditionally it would have been made from bent willow or wood. And the deer was sourced from indigenous supplier who works with Canadian hunters who primarily hunt to feed their families. At the center of the wheel, there are hornpipe and glass beads forming the medicine wheel design. And I attached ribbons on the medicine wheel colors on the four corners. I've also included an orange ribbon to represent the children, families impacted communities of residential school system and our commitment to walk towards truth and reconciliation. We need to remember that there was a time not too long ago that it was illegal for Indigenous people on Turtle Island to practice their cultural ways. And the conversations that we're having today could not be happening without the decades of resistance and strength from the aunties, uncles, elders, and all the community leaders that paved a resistant path. I hope that when you look at this medicine wheel, you remember the beautiful cycle of life that connects all things and all peoples. And I hope this medicine wheel makes space for Indigenous ways of knowing in interfaith spaces. After we're finished, I'm going to do this Q&A first. And Anybody that feels called is welcome to tie a strip of leather, which is strips of leather at the back, and to kind of solidify your commitment to reconciliation, to harmony, to walking in a good way, and you know, you can put your prayers in there as well. And there's no fancy, I could have brought one up. You gotta be a script. Sorry. Oh. You, you anywhere you want. I wouldn't put it higher than these parts. But I would come up to the back like this, and then go over here, and then come down, and then up. So you don't have to tie it like that. That's how I would tie it. And they're all different lengths. If you wanted to tie some knots in there to decorate, you can do that as well. But you're totally welcome to add your own personality on it as well. Yeah, last night when I was thinking about this, I really just thought how impactful this is because I was adopted. My biological mother was adopted, and my grandmother and her parents, so my grandmother and great grandmother, were enfranchised at the same time. And it says in my adoption paperwork that my grandparents spoke fluent Anishinaabe. And it says it takes one generation to move from. So my biological mother was taken from reserve, part of the Sixties Scoop. And then she became pregnant. I was about 14, I was taken from her. Part of my adoption agreement through Catholic Children's Aid was that I had to be raised Catholic. And I had a good experience with it, but it was very confusing journey. So to be able to make a medicine wheel and bring it into a church is so incredible. It's resistance, it's creating space for Indigenous voices, it's creating space for diversity. It's something that I never thought I'd be able to do. And I know my mom's proud of me. I know that I'm sure my ancestors and my grandparents are proud of me. And I see this, like I spoke earlier, this undoing of knowledge, this colonizing of my education. And also at the same time, still a little Catholic. So learning to walk in both worlds. I keep a little rosary, it's a here rosary. I'm working on a rosary and not gonna marry. Not happening. But I made rosaries that have medicine wheel colors on them. And not a lot of Indigenous people like that when I share that. And I understand that my mom hates it, my biological mom hates it, but that is sort of my walk with Creator and trying to figure it out. And it's a confusing journey, but I think we're all on this confusing journey. Yeah, I would love to answer any questions that anybody has. I know that this is a pretty vague medicine wheel teaching, but the one that only do is a 2 hours long. There are a lot of interpersonal ways that you can get into it, like mind, body, spirit. There's so many, there's animals that you can get into, but every territory has their own every group. It's so nuanced based on what you're talking about. So I try to keep it as safe as possible. Not that is not the right word. But kind of like a foundation so that if you are looking for more information, you can go and find more information. And you have the starting point on what the medicine wheel is and you go and look for information. So yeah, you have to answer any questions.
Yes, so thank you so much, first of all. Thank you so much, first of all. And my question, as we're going around the wheel, we're like making different investments, and I mean, brought in the stage, but it wasn't very clear where in the wheel did the stage fit in, was it kind of used everywhere?
Oh, yeah, so sage is in the cell. Yeah, oh, sorry, sage is in the east, but not everybody will use it in there. Like, even in this territory, people will put it in different, like, different directions. I actually originally was not going to put the medicines in here because I don't want you guys to walk away and think, oh my gosh, this is how it is, and this is how I'm supposed to use it. When I was first reconnecting, I would put some of my medicines and I would put them, I was so strict about each medicine has to be here. But that's not how it is. It's more about the teachings that go along with it. So you might, here's another elder that sage is on in the south. And it's not that anybody's wrong. It's just that they learned from different ways. Like it's even down to the family. The family will learn a different way. And maybe it's because they've had a different experience with sage. For many years, I always put my sage in the north because I was associated with, not sage, sorry, my cedar in the north because it grows really well all winter. But I put it in the south, so it's very things change.
Thank you so much for sharing the wisdom and story. I was moved by the song and the drumming.
Oh,
Can you talk about the connection of music to medicine?
absolutely. So not so much to the medicine wheel, but as to prayer. I was originally asked to do land acknowledgement when when I came in today, and I'm always asked to do land acknowledgements, and I don't do them. I don't do the formal, standing on the territory or whatever nation. When we sing, we're praying, and that's kind of like I was taught in Catholic school. Do the sign of the cross and you're calling God. When I sing, when I play my drum, that's how I'm calling God. But I feel the same way when I do the sign of the cross. I'm connecting with the Creator. And our songs, anytime you see a First Nation person, most Indigenous people, I think, playing their drum, they're praying. And each song has a different meaning. Each song, there are certain songs that you're not allowed to sing. Therefore, art songs, Sundance songs, the song that I sung today, I learned with my involvement in the Toronto activist community, and I learned marching streets for Indigenous rights. It was a song that was sung pretty often. It comes from the Mi'kmaq Nation, but now many nations carry that song. So yeah, the songs are always prayers, and there are songs that have to do with the medicine wheel, but they're not appropriate to sing today. Like they're more like spiritual songs. Not that this isn't spiritual, but there would be like a song for all.
I'm looking at the physical medicine wheel I brought in. You mentioned that it was made for this particular gathering, so I would like to know just a little bit more about that. And I also noticed the beautiful centerpiece. You mentioned that some wheels have a center, so I'd love to just hear a little bit more about the significance of that.
Yeah, so this isn't, like, there isn't one way to make a medicine wheel. The oldest, they say that medicine wheel you look on the line, it says the medicine wheels are very, very old, and the oldest one is in Big Horn, North Dakota, I'm not sure. But those are, the term medicine wheel is very new. We've always had sacred circles of some sort. We've always had rock formations in sacred circles. Circles have always been honored and revered. This is a contemporary interpretation of our knowledge. You know, this isn't the one way to make a medicine wheel. This is a dream catcher technique. I like using dream catchers because dream catchers are said to come from the Anishinaabe people. I love making them. And I love how the webbing technique really mimics that spider. And I love how it looks like it's pulling everything together, kind of how we pull all of ourselves together, all the diversification. I love that. And that's not like a dream catcher story. That's just my own feeling when I make it. And then I put the dream catcher in the middle because but yeah, the center of the dream catcher, I've been taught that I've also been taught that it means heaven, or the spirit world, the center of knowledge, our consciousness, creator. But I put an abalone shell bead there. Abalone shell is this little shell. And these would have been traded, like this isn't something that is native to our territory, but it could remind us from Senator Warren, good Senator D.
Hi, so you mentioned, that you're both active in virtually.
Yeah.
You also mentioned, and smudging and training. So I'm just curious how you maybe practice a spiritual practice either daily or weekly, and what does that look like for someone who has sort of like multi-day sort of integrated into their being? How do you negotiate those things with each other? And I guess, is there a blending of things, or are they separate, or how does that feel? How does it feel different between the two different sort of like quality?
That's a great question. I think I've found a lot of support groups online for people that kind of dabble in this, I guess. Not dabble, but like, you know, have these questions. There's a word, cafeteria Catholic, picking and choosing. And I think that kind of best represents my relationship with Catholicism right now, because I find, you know, there were many years when I first found out about how my relationship with my adoption was part of the scoop and part of all these really horrible things. And I was mad. I was mad at God. I threw away my Bibles. I wanted nothing to do with it. I was furious. And then there came a point where I was missing something, and I went to a mass, and I felt that like warm hug of safety that like I felt as a child when, you know, I had all these feelings of like I miss like putting up the nativity scene, and I miss like the Christmas plays, and I miss, you know, just sitting there and like the singing, and I kind of wrestle with these ideas of, is it me missing the like the nostalgia, or am I missing this connection with God? Because I go to ceremony, I go to Anishinaabe ceremony, I go to sweat lodge, I'm part of that community too. So it's something that I've wrestled with for quite a while. Up until the pandemic, I was going to mass quite regularly. That St. Michael's Cathedral, and you know, if you want to feel God, it's so beautiful in there. Like, I don't know. I feel like shook when I go in there. I don't agree with everything that they say, of course, but I don't agree with everything that I hear in the Anishinaabe community either. So I feel like there's always going to be it's always gonna be my own discernment. Couple of years I was a born again Christian. And I remember learning about discernment and that fire that comes in you and teaches you, that holy fire of God that's teaching you like to listen. And I feel that still. I still feel that. So it's a constant struggle. And a lot of my Anishinaabe community brothers and sisters don't want to hear about it. They don't want to hear about it. It's not, and it's because of a lot of hurt. Like I was in that period of my life for many years where I was so mad at the church. I was protesting in the street and I was yelling and screaming and, swearing at everything. Like it's, I still get that way sometimes, but it's part of the journey, I guess. I still say the rosary, I still read my Bible. I feel like I'm not going to hell. I feel like. Yeah, so I don't have those teachings. I don't carry those storytelling. So I'm probably not the best person to ask. But there are like storytellers that will tell you that I believe it has to do with certain animals and there's and I all of it. And that's the thing that there are certain teachings that I thought people are allowed to get, and if you don't know them, you're not supposed to get them. So I'm not gonna say anything. I'm not a storyteller. Like I do, like I share, but I'm not like a. I don't know. There's some people that are just so good. They can like tell the whole, the forever like hours of stories. Those are the people that ask. So there's no more questions. We can, also on the sheet, I've included my information. So if you do have any other questions that come up, I don't know everything, but I can point you in the right direction. I also included some reconciliation resources if you're interested. Yeah, my information is on the side. Pretty basic. You can color it if you want. I believe that I'm not sure who, but somebody got us some lovely cedar tea. Cedar's another lovely medicine that we drink as a tea. Also cedar bath if you're looking to like have a nice cleanse. Cedar's a good go-to for everything. Don't have it if you're pregnant and don't have one in the top day though. I don't have like oil slick on it. You can actually take that oil slick off if you're concerned about it. Yeah. Great question. So when you hear someone like Indigenous people say medicine, it can be almost anything because it really works into the medicine wheel. Like I didn't talk too much about mind, body, spirit, and emotional, all of those aspects of it, but all of those things are medicine. Like all of our states of being are considered medicine. So when you remove a piece of that medicine, you need to fix it. community medicine. And, you really see this, the medicine wheel in action when people aren't being heard in a community. And then somebody's lost. When like, a community member isn't being heard, you know, that part of the wheel falls apart. So, you know, community involvement is medicine. It really, everything is medicine. So yes, the herbs are medicine, but also, so many parts of like being part of the circle is also medicine. Therapy, activity, tea, and, in terms of like herbal medicine, like that actually is like closer to like, I want to say Western medicine, because we're actually ingesting it, putting it on our bodies. But it all works into the spiritual, mental, physical, circle of care. So if everybody would like to, have you can take some medicine home and like you can attach the crystal leather to the medicine wheel. If you have any questions, you can also come up here and, I can show you how to tie a tobacco tie. And yeah, I also have some of my, this is like my teaching bundle. The protocol tip is like if somebody has their bundle out, typically you don't touch it, you don't take pictures of it, it's a big taboo. Because there is like fear considered attached to these things. This is my teaching bundle. And I created this because when I was growing up, a lot of these things were considered, look, don't touch, don't look. So I created this so that people could come and could touch and ask questions. So you can touch any of this. You can pick it up and touch.
Can you take pictures?
Give me a picture, that is fine. But definitely ask people, if you see, someone else's bundle, like this is not a traditional, typical bundle.
But we can't go on that.
Start moving.
Students at annual college, and you don't have time now to take a piece of leather and attach it to the green picture medicine wheel. And I want to have time for people to come and greet Sarah personally, but I'd like to present her with a gift. In fact, I told her that I knit dishcloths, so I put up for you and other gifts, and thank you very much. I'm so grateful for sharing our faith practices and our traditions. What a blessing it's been that you came today. Thank you so much.
Instead of messing with that, you can just go around it.
That's for the speaker for the Zoom.
But we're pretty much done. I don't know when, oh, let's see, that's probably a beer.
Hi, thank you so much for relaying online.
What they did to make that work.
I don't know,
So I'll-
Sean was playing with it. 'Cause I was
Okay,
running around
perfect.
with the mic.
Oh, thank you. So I'll log off now because I think David has sent me another link for the class, which is at 2:30, right? So I think I'll log back at 2:30.
Yeah. When you guys come meeting, I'm saying, okay.
There are many